By the river at midnight. The night was soft and quiet in the village of Okioro. Crickets sang in the tall grass. The full moon sat high in the sky like a round calabash of light. The river, called Odoes, moved slowly, its water shining like silver. Tolu stood under the big Iroko tree, waiting. He was a tall young man with strong arms from working on the farm and eyes that always looked like they were hiding something. His heart beat fast, as it always did when he waited for Aderonke. Then he heard her steps. "Tolu," she whispered, coming closer, her wrapper tied tight around her waist. "You came early." "I cannot sleep if I do not see you," he said, smiling. She laughed softly and touched his chest. "You always know what to say." Together they walked down to the river. The air was cool. Frogs croaked in the water. The trees stood like quiet watchers. Aderonke untied her wrapper and let it fall. Her skin glowed in the moonlight. Soft, dark, beautiful. Tolu took the soap from the leaf bowl and began to wash her back slowly, his hands gentle. She closed her eyes. "Your touch is sweet, Tolu, and your skin is soft like palm oil," he said, kissing her shoulder. She turned to face him. Their eyes met, then their lips. They kissed slowly, deeply. Her hands moved through his hair, pulling him closer. His arms wrapped around her waist, bringing her bare body to his. He laid her gently on the grass near the water. The night held them like a secret. Their bodies touched, moved, and melted into one. The moon watched. The wind danced around them. They made love quietly, sweetly, like two people who had done this before and would do it again and again. Afterward, she rested her head on his chest. "Do you think they will ever allow us to be together?" she asked softly. Tolu sighed. "Your father is the chief's advisor. My father is only a palm wine tapper. They see me as nothing." "But I love you," she said. "Is that not enough?" "In this village, love is not enough." She sat up, wrapped her cloth back around her, and looked at the water. "I want to leave this place, Tolu. Maybe we can run to Ibadan or Lagos, start a new life." He sat beside her. "And if we run, what about our people? Your father will curse us. The chief will send men to look for us. They will say we are foolish." She touched his face. "Let them say. My heart is yours." As they kissed again, a pair of eyes watched them from the tall grass. The next day, the sun burned hot over Okioro. Women went to the market. Men worked in the farms, and children chased chickens in the dust. But in the palace compound, trouble was brewing. Bosede, the village gossip and daughter of one of the elders, stood before the chief. "I saw them," she said, smiling to herself. "Tolu and Aderonke, by the river, at midnight. They were not just talking, they were naked, rolling in the grass like goats." The chief's face turned dark. He turned to Aderonke's father, Chief Oladoyin. "Is this true?" Chief Oladoyin was shocked. Aderonke would not bring shame to our family. "She has," Bosed said, pretending to be sad. "I even saw her wrapper on the ground." The chief hit his staff on the ground. "Call her." Minutes later, Aderonke stood in front of them, her heart racing. "Is it true?" her father asked. "Did you go to the river at night with that boy?" She looked down. "Yes, Baba." He slapped her hard across the face. "Shameless girl," He shouted, "You belong to the house of wisdom, not the house of whores." The chief stood. "This matter must be punished. It is against our law to meet in secret like lovers without permission. You have brought disgrace. You will be taken to the women's hut for cleansing. You will stay there for 1 full moon." Tears filled Aderonke's eyes. "Please, silence," the chief shouted. She was dragged away, weeping. Back in the forest, Tolu heard the news from a friend. "They have taken her," the boy said. "They say she must be cleansed." Tolu's chest grew hot with anger. "But we did nothing wrong. We love each other." "That does not matter in Okeoro." Tolu clenched his fists. "Then I will go to the palace myself. I will speak to them." His friend grabbed him. "You want to die?" But Tolu was already walking away. The women's hut was quiet. Inside, Aderonke sat on a mat made of raffia, her face wet with tears. A small fire burned in a clay pot beside her. The old priestess, Iya Ifagbemi, sat opposite her, humming softly as she tied koris to a long piece of red cloth. "You are lucky, child," Iya Ifagbemi said, in a voice like the wind through old trees. "If the chief wanted, he could have banished you, or worse. But we only loved each other," Aderonke said softly. The old woman looked at her. "Love is a wild goat in this village. It runs too fast, and when it enters a farm, it destroys things." Aderonke wiped her face. "What if I don't care? What if I want to follow the goat?" The priestess smiled a little. "Then you must be ready for the punishment." Outside the palace, Tolu stood by the gate, sweating under the hot sun. He had not eaten. He had not slept. But he would not leave until he saw her. The guards laughed at him. "Go back to your bush palm wine, boy," one said. "She is not for you." "I want to see the chief," Tolu said, his voice steady. "Do you want to die?" the other asked. "I want to speak." His voice was loud now. Heads turned. Some villagers gathered. "I want to speak," he shouted again. The chief came out, frowning. Behind him stood Chief Oladoyin and Boseji, smiling as if they were waiting for a show. "You again?" the chief said. "I love her," Tolu said. "Aderonke, I love her. I am not ashamed. I'm not afraid. Let her go." The chief's face twisted. "You speak boldly for a poor boy." "I speak with truth. You want to punish us for touching each other in the dark, but your own sons go to Lagos and do worse. Why is it that when poor people love, it is a crime?" Murmurs began among the people. Some nodded. Others gasped. Chief Oladoyin shouted, "You insult us." "I speak from my heart," Tolu said. "If love is shameful, then let me carry the shame. But do not punish her alone. Take me too." There was silence. Then, slowly, an old voice came from the back. It was Baba Lani, the oldest man in the village. He stepped forward with his walking stick. "I have lived through 2 wars and 3 kings. I have seen what forced marriage does. I have seen what fear does. But love is rare. And if a man is ready to stand in the sun and take lashes for the one he loves, then maybe we should listen." The chief frowned. "So what do you suggest?" "Let him take her place," Babalani said. That night, as the moon rose again, Tolu was taken to the women's hut. He sat where Aderonke had sat. The same fire burned. The same priestess sat before him. She shook her head. You are not like other boys. I only want to see her smile again, Tolu said. The next morning, Tolu was led to the village square. He was tied to the big Iroko tree. His shirt was removed. His back was bare. The crowd was silent. The whip cracked. Pa! Once, pa! Twice. He did not cry out. Blood ran down his back. Dust rose from the ground. Some women covered their faces. Some men looked away. By the 10th lash, his body sagged, but his eyes stayed open. Adoronke, hidden behind a hut, watched with tears in her eyes. She wanted to run to him, to scream, to pull the whip away, but she knew this was his choice. He was doing it for her. At the 15th lash, Babalani raised his staff. Enough, he said. He has paid. The chief nodded slowly. Let him go. They cut the rope. Tolu fell to his knees. Adoronke ran to him and held him, crying. I'm here, she said. I'm here, my love. He looked up at her, eyes tired but full of peace. You are free now. Weeks passed. Tolu healed slowly, his back lined with dark scars. Adoronke cared for him every day. The chief allowed her to visit his home, but not to stay. They were still watched, still judged. One morning, before the sun rose, the two of them walked to the river again. They stood where they always stood. I still want to run away with you, Adoronke whispered. Tolu looked at her. And I will go, if you ask me to. She held his hand. But maybe we don't have to run. Maybe we just wait. Let them see we are not foolish. Let them see we love each other in the open. And so they stayed, not hidden, not afraid. Every night they met by the river. They touched, they kissed, they whispered. Sometimes they made love beneath the stars, slow, deep, gentle, without shame. And though some still whispered behind their backs, the village slowly began to change. Because two people, poor and brave, chose love over fear. And the river remembered, always.